The more you try to keep me down and keep my head above the water, you can never hold me down. The more you try to block me out, that's where I kick the wall down. You can never hold me back. The more you try to put me out, the more I'll be blazing, it's too hot. The more you try to put me in the dirt, increase my work, the expert. You see the hunger in the eyes of a survivor. Swallowed my pride, washed down with some saliva. Reinvented my whole life, mental MacGyver. One door shut, another open up wider. Listen, battle drums in the distance, moving with enough force like army tank pistons. Pray for the strength of Jah to fight resistance. Fight mode, shields up, moving with resilience.
The strength of 1,000 lion and the strength of 1,000 giant. Please stay strong. Please stay strong. With the strength of 1,000 elephant and the strength of 1,000 tiger, we stay strong. We stay strong.
Reinvented my whole life, mental.
Hey everyone, good evening. It's Casey from Pinecase. We are joined with the one and only Scott Monk. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's I don't know if it's like hot for everybody right now, but holy Batman, are we in the middle of a little bit of a heat wave? Like,
yeah.
Not that I'm going to complain too much, but let me tell you, every charge I've ever caught in my whole life, it's been plus 35 degrees. So as soon as that temperature starts rising, I'm like, I'm not leaving my house. I'm not leaving my property. I'm not driving nowhere. Like,
it's crazy out there right now.
Yeah, totally. I don't know what it is about like the temperature that's associated with like losing your absolute fucking mind or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely my not most flattering particular time.
Yeah. It's like the same as getting hangry. If you get too hot, it's just dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I know my limits, that's for sure. I'm like, stay hydrated, kick it around the yard. You don't need to be out there doing nothing crazy. Like,
yeah. Water.
Volunteering our time for other reasons other than this.
Yeah, staying hydrated and drinking water, that's vital.
Yeah. And I don't think people take it as serious as they should, right? Like, everyone's out there, like, got all these cool plans to go and do all this great stuff, but then they forget to take care of like their number one player, you know, like, yeah, you got to stay hydrated and fed too. Like when it gets hot, people aren't really down for eating. And it's like, man, you got to remember your vitamins and minerals. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, get it in ya for sure. So how's it going? What's going on? Congratulations on the shows and everything. Like, my goodness, I was checking you out there for a hot second, and it's, well, anything associated with snack, my kids are like a massive fan. So I was like, oh man, what's this dude up to? It's really awesome. Yeah. How was all that for you? Tell me all the details.
It's been going good. Yeah, it's a blessing. You know, music was something that I wanted to pursue my whole life since my early teens. And I was never really able to focus on it. You know, if we want to jump right into it, it was like the mental health and, you know, what comes with that, like, you know, falling into addiction, because like I was so messed up from all the mental health issues that totally veered me off path. So, you know, that took up my life for a long time until I went down a healthier path. And now I've been able to like hone in on music and give it all my focus. And since doing that, you know, things have just been climbing. And, you know, it's beautiful. And, yeah, the snack show was cool. I mean, I've known him for a while. We did a song together when I was like 15 or something.
Oh, wow.
And I also met my brother Merk around 15, 16. And I've stayed in touch with him for a long time. We lost touch for a few years there, but then he hit me up one day and I'm like, hey, where are you living now? How you doing? And he told me he was living close to me at that time a few years ago. So then we reconnected, and you know, he's been getting amazing success, which is so great to see. I'm very proud of him. And so yeah, like a couple months ago, he was here visiting family and whatnot, and then he was like, yo, do you want to come with me on this little mini tour I'm doing? And I was like, no way. So you know, I dropped everything and jumped on that. And after coming back from that, we went to a few different cities. And after coming back from that, I was like, I got to, you know, try to do a headlining show here in my hometown.
Yeah.
Made that happen. And that was great. We sold out the venue that we were using. And then Yeah. And then a couple weeks after that, Snack was coming to town, and shout out to Marked Up Entertainment. The owner of that company, Mark, is a good friend of mine now, which I'm happy to say. And every time they bring talent through town, they always hit me up to go perform there. So that's a blessing.
There's something to be said for some good connections, and like it's tough because when you make those connections at a young age, it's hard to hold on to some of them, especially when you're navigating some of the things you're talking about, right? Like some of the situations come with a little bit of disrespect along the lines. I know I haven't always been the best, so when you're able to like those dudes are those are real homeboys though. Like I remember some of those names back in the day from like East Van. I don't know if you know like Jakin and Word and like and like Conrad and all them, but like to see them come up, and you as well, like it's super exciting. Like West Coast, the music, the hip hop scene specifically, like we have so much culture up here and so much good stuff that goes on. A lot of it kind of comes like, I guess even like the Island boys kind of latch onto the Vancouver scene a little bit just because it's hard to rep the island sometimes, right? Like it's not that it's hard, it's beautiful, but like it's easy when people are like, oh, where are you from? Victoria Island? You're like, no, Vancouver, right?
And I mean, like I love my hometown. Like I'm gonna represent Courtney as long as I live. But you're right, it's like a place people no one really's heard of, especially bigger music scene. And like Merc for one. I mean, there's a lot of people getting success in Canada in general. Like Junk's doing great. I got a good buddy out in Edmonton named Kripel, and he is killing it right now too. And so like I'm blessed to like be able to have conversations and mentorship from these people that are doing well. And like when it comes to me, I feel like I'm like very like I know what I want to be and where I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
But I'm very low on the pole. I'm just starting out, so it's like I feel super blessed to be able to like, bounce ideas off them and get guidance from them and just watch them grow also. It's a true blessing.
Scott, that's so refreshing to hear. Honestly, because to me, like the things that you're doing are so iconic. And so to be like that hungry and that driven that you're like, no, man, like we're just starting out. Like this is like the jump off is like super impressive because I think for a lot of kids, especially from those neighborhoods, like when they see your name next to those names, because those names are doing some pretty amazing things, right? Like you're saying, like they're like, they're hitting some pretty big stages. But when they see that you can come from Campbell River, you can come from Courtney, or you can come from the island and be on stage with names like that, like it's so instrumental. And I think it has a massive impact, especially on like the young dudes right now that are in that area. Like up until just recently, the only industries that we really had were like the blue collar, fishing, logging, mining, the pulp mill and paper. And those are all great industries. Like I would never, ever talk ill about the blue collars. Like I'm the biggest advocate, but not everybody wants to do those things. And so when they see that they can like come from the same neighborhood as like you and Surreal and everybody else, and then like come and hit the stages with like, some of these massive successes, like it's so important and so instrumental. So to be able to like do that and share your story while you navigated some of these mental health things, I think is so integral, important. And like,
thank you. That's totally it. Like people, especially younger people, like they need to catch that hope and hold on to it. If I'm thinking about like, like where we're born and where we're from, I know like, it comes with the stigma, or like people from here don't really make it, or whatever, this and that. But really when it comes down to it, I don't believe it's like, it doesn't matter where you're from. It matters like who the individual is. And, like if the people you look up to and whatever craft you want to hone in on, just study what they do and just practice, and once you're able to start putting out the content that you want to, or like doing the things that you want to achieve, consistency is what I've found. That's the advice I get most. Consistency is key. Like you got to just keep on going.
Yeah.
you can't put something out and then like stop for months on end. Like you have to keep on going and
Yeah.
just, believe in the dream.
Yeah, I think it's funny because like it's easy to say that, but like to actually do it, right? Because it's hard when you put out content and then maybe it doesn't hit the same way that you wanted it to. It can be so like, oh, it's so like disheartening, and you're like, oh man, I gotta do this again and again and again and again, and like when you're feeling you're not getting any traction. But yeah, man, like do it until people think that it's cool, right? Like do it until like until it becomes like the norm, like.
Yeah, and do it for yourself too, like I used to I'll jump back to that thing about how it can be disheartening if it doesn't get received well, but I've also learned from like people, not even necessarily in my direct friend group, but like people that are like super successful, like celebrities and all that, and like great musicians. I've heard them say a lot, make music that you want to make for you, that you like to listen to. Like if I'm in the studio trying to make a song that like I hope people are gonna love, I hear that it's not just gonna get received how I wish it could. But if I'm in the studio working on a song that is like music to my ears, no pun intended, that I really feel and that I love, then there will be people out there in the world that gravitate to it and that like it also,
Yeah, that's so true, right? Like, and you have to, you have to enjoy what you're doing, because at the end of the day, like you're the one that has to put it out there night after night after night.
Yeah,
right?
I would say that would be the same for anything, like if you're a dancer, or if you're pursuing like content like podcasts, even interviewing people, or if you're a painter, any of that, go the route that you love, because if we're out there just trying all these different things just to have people like us, then in the end that might only hurt our mental health more.
That's really true, actually. It's funny, I'm always saying, like, not that it's coming from me, because I obviously speak on behalf of like a ton of people, right? But it's like you have to truly like enjoy what you're doing, and it almost being like a hobby. Like my dad was like, man, you got to enjoy this stuff like a hobby, because it has to be like something that you like literally eat, breathe, and sleep. Like if you're not in it 100%, then why the hell would anybody else be in it 100%? Like it just, it's not just like selling yourself for the people on the idea, right? Like you have to like stand behind it too. So yeah, I can totally understand that for sure.
Yeah. And then how you were saying, like if it doesn't get received, then it can be disheartening, like if you put out something, let's say like, a piece that you're working on, if you're a dancer, or like a single that you just made and you're a musician or a rapper or whatever. And if you put it out and, in your head, you're like, oh, I want all these views and I want people to play it and stuff. And then you get like 5 views on the video or something, right? That could cause some people to fall into like, more or less a depression.
Yeah.
But if we, that's why I tell people you got to believe in the dream, like see more or less the end result where you think or where you're going to be, like I believe in a lot of stuff, but something that I very much believe in is the law of attraction, so I try to force myself, even if doubts sometimes try to creep in. I over and over I'll tell myself that this is going to work, and like I focus on it. I don't try to let doubt come in. So if you put out a single or whatever it may be and it doesn't get received right, just keep going with that consistency we were talking about. Just move on, keep going, don't hang on that moment, and just know where you're going to be and keep working towards that. Because I think something that I've heard a lot of great people talk about with the law of attraction is like, they have all these books and movies on it and all that.
The Secret.
Yeah, and other ones too, and they just tell you to envision it and like know what's going to happen. But something that they've always kind of left out is that while doing that, you also have to make steps every day to achieve that. You have to keep on working towards that goal.
Yeah, totally. And I think they forget about the fact that like it's not just being like it's gonna happen. Like for sure it'll happen if you think it's gonna happen, but it's like genuinely believing like there is no room for failure. Like like you have to take the steps, you have to put the pieces in, and like so it's something that you have to be like constantly practicing every day. Like people have vision boards, and that's lovely. Like make your vision board, put it up and check it out. I've watched it work firsthand. But if you're not actively like keeping like your spidey senses out there to see like different avenues and different connections and relationships that might be beneficial than like,
yeah, exactly. Like
not really
something
not
I heard,
really exercising it. Like,
yeah, something I heard the other day that really stuck with me. Now I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if I'll get it right on, but it was something like success is when preparation meets opportunity.
oh yeah, I love that.
So prepare for your next opportunity, like if
Yeah.
you're not ready and you're not practicing and like being consistent, then if something big comes and you're not ready, then it might miss you.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm a mom, right? And
Shut up.
yeah, man. Shout out to the kids, man. Shout out to the kids. Shout out to the parents too. Like, it is. I love my kids. Obviously, you don't have to love them. You don't even have to really like them. But like, I genuinely like dig my kids, and I always think that it's like super important that when we go out, like, you present yourself the way that you want to be received, right? And it's interesting because, their dad's super cool, great. We're still friends. Everything's chill. Like, that'll never be the problem. But one of the conversations that we always had is like, man, you put a lot of pressure on those kids, like, to be dressed a certain way. Like, he's 5. And I'm like, right. But when you like get in on the ground floor of like how you want to present yourself, then those, then you're not going to miss opportunities, right? Like, you're not going to miss opportunities to go up and talk to somebody that you need to talk to maybe make that connection that maybe will put you in that position for your next opportunity. And yeah, 5's a bit young, but like, man, 15 times
5's like a prime age still. Like, anyways, it was for me. Like, my daughter just turned 9,
yeah.
and like when she was 5, maybe 6 too, like, it was the best. I could do her hair, I could pigtail braid it and all that stuff, and like, dress her up however I want to. And now like, she hasn't let me do her hair in like a year. I want to, but she ain't letting it happen. And with the clothes and stuff, her being 9 now, she's like finding her voice, right? And she's like, no, it's my body. I'm dressing the way I want. And I'm like, oh my God.
They're so independent at that age. Like, and it's so interesting because like, I think I'm like I'm like, okay, I kind of have an idea of like what's going on with these kids. Like, I have no idea what's going on with these kids, man. Like, it is wild. Like, they got some like totally different pressures and like totally different trends and like,
I mean,
Converse, I know that those will work.
Yeah, I think it's such a blessing too to be to like work on the mental health aspect and be healthy, to show up for our kids and be present and and try to teach them right from wrong. Like, my daughter, like I said, is 9, and my partner, who is an amazing woman, her kids are 8. Actually, I think he might have just turned 9. So 9 and 6, and so our kids are all like the same kind of age.
Yeah.
So, and she's super healthy too. So like, it's great being in a relationship where we can kind of.
That is such a powerful. It's such a powerful thing when you find somebody in your life that you can really like rip off of. Like, I'm in a similar situation, and like, we got all these kids, and they're like, I mean, from one end to the other, like, there is nothing in common with any of them. But because we're like in such a healthy situation where we can like communicate and like, conversate and like dance and be frustrated and have all of that happen and still have a successful day. Like, these kids come out and they're like comfortable with saying all like the weird stuff or the hard stuff or the uncomfortable stuff. And like, Sunday dinners, like, without a doubt, like, they're standard. Like, even some of the kids, like, because some of our kids have graduated, right? And it's like, Sunday dinner is like a standard. One of them picks a dessert, and we spend like the whole day just like figuring out what it is that's going to be happening on the next Sunday. Like, we got a smoker so that it takes all day to like cook stuff. And like, it's like, it's such a beautiful thing. Because I grew up in maybe not such as, I mean, it was mixed reviews, right? And that's what happens a lot of times when you have like blended families, right? And I have a blended family now, but the difference is like, there's such a team at the heart of it. And it sounds like you have a similar situation. Like, when when there's 2 of you like on the same mindset, you guys are unstoppable for sure.
Yeah, like, it's I definitely give credit to being like, it's not a secret to people that follow me or that are like part of my story or in my social media stuff. Like, I'm in recovery, right? I have been for over a couple years now. And that, of course, it almost goes without saying, it's been night and day with the parenting aspect and like being able to be there for her and hear her out. And you know, it's great, because when you're stuck in addiction and like only focusing on like the negative mental health stuff, and you know, you don't really care about much else, and it sucks, but that's just the truth of being out there in that life. So yeah, and I mean, it never really got horrible in front of my daughter, which is another blessing. There's blessings all around. But I mean, she was with her mother a lot of the time because she went to school and stuff. She goes to school at her mom's house, which is in the same town. But anyway, so I would only really get her on the weekends for the last few years of my addiction. And so I kind of tried to tone it down when I had her, but it was still there nonetheless. And you know, after coming into this new way of life, like, to say it's been amazing would be an understatement, you know. And that's why I try to like advocate for people to get healthy. You know, a lot of people see people in my town, and I'm sure every city across Canada and maybe even the world, you know, like addiction is a big thing. And you know, I don't know if you guys have those rant and raves pages on Facebook or whatever where you are from, but like a lot of people talk about like the people in addiction. You know, a lot of people rant to like people that are out there, and I'm like, I know that these people
pages, like
and a lot of people, I think, just don't get it. Like people that look down on people that are struggling, whether they be homeless or not, you know, like people that are hating on those people don't understand that like a lot of us were those people, and you can change and find a new way to live and totally get out of addiction. You know, there are outlets and ways to do that. So I'm totally all for having compassion and not judging people, and just you know, letting them know that there's a way out. And even
go ahead, because I'm just like sitting here like, yeah, absolutely. Shout out first of all to your baby mama, because there is something to be said for parents on the other side of things that don't completely restrict parenting time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing too, is like, I mean, we never really, like, the relationship for sure ended like in a nasty way, you know, but since coming into recovery and like that being years ago, like me and her mother split up when my daughter was 2 years old, and she got in another relationship when our daughter was 3 years old, and now she's 9 and she's still with the same guy, and they have 2 other kids. So like, so that I'm glad she found a good dude right after that. Right. But since coming into recovery, like our co-parenting relationship has been beautiful. You know, it's we got good communication and all that. And it's great.
That's definitely like show that to the, like, I'm not saying that you can only set examples for young men, because obviously you can set examples for just, you know, the youth in general, but like, let that be the standard, because there's too often situations like, you know, there's just not enough of that. There's not enough of like young men like yourself, you know, because we're so young these days, but like young men like yourself that are really like showing that as an example. Like, that's so massive. It's massive to see. It's massive that you push that on your social media too, that like you let people in a little bit so they can see all aspects, because you never really know like whose life you're going to change. A lot of these kids are sitting at home listening to their parents fight all day long, or their stepdad or stepmom coming in with maybe not the same opinion as the real parent. And like, you know, so when they see that kind of stuff, especially online, I think it has a massive impact whether people, you know, kind of like see it as like
and, I mean, I always will circle back probably to like it's recovery, you know, like a lot of people that, you know, maybe not young kids, but probably a lot of young kids too, or like, you know, parents, even young parents that split up, and how you were mentioning, again, paraphrasing, that they go on like not getting along and like, you know, holding grudges and like always hating on the other person. You know, this is a judgment, and maybe not a proper one in every situation, but a lot of them probably aren't in recovery. And whether it be like, you know, more sociable, acceptable drugs, or like, alcohol and all that, like that stuff still can taint your mind. And being in recovery, so much more came along with it, rather than like so much more than just putting down substances. Like the people in that community taught me a whole new way of life, all these different values, I can call them. And so that goes a long way with the co-parenting and the relationship with my partner and the relationship with my friends. If I'm being honest and vulnerable with the close friends and the coworkers who are also luckily in recovery, that's where like I find it most challenging not challenging, but like we do butt heads a lot, but that's because we're all guys, and we're all guys and we're together all the time, but they're all still in recovery nonetheless. So like, I wouldn't want to hang out with anyone that isn't focused on living a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting because recovery means so many things for different people, but I'm so glad that we're in like an age right now where people are like, recovery is like putting down the thing that had a negative impact on your life and picking up the tools that are essentially going to give you your life. Because before it really meant like to like completely sustain, or, you couldn't even have a cigarette, or you can't, this and that. And it's like, what, each to their own. I know a lot of the fellowships really work for people, but it's really refreshing to see like kind of the evolution that's happened in the recovery scene as well. Right. Like, all these beautiful initiatives like Recover Out Loud and things like that. I think it really changed the face of what it even means to like be in recovery.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And like I do have some close friends, I'm not gonna name names or anything, but I got some good friends that aren't necessarily in recovery, and sometimes they'll poke fun at me, but like not in a bad way. They totally support me and they're happy for me because like they knew me before and how bad it was, and like so they'll poke fun and stuff, but no matter what, like I don't care. Like I'll always try to push it, because like you said earlier, you never know who you can give that seed of hope to. Like that little seed of hope that someone hears from something that someone says can blossom into like a whole healthy lifestyle. And while it's
sorry, go ahead. Like, so sorry, I love it. Go ahead.
While it's on my mind, because like your podcast is about mental health also, right? Like I love how it says music is our DOC. I'll circle back to that in a sec, but with the mental health, like because it's so real, and it's like more at the forefront nowadays. Like I've met a lot of guys. I was raised by my mom, so I never really experienced it like that, but I have met a lot of guys, a lot of them a bit older than me, that were raised as a kid with that like we don't cry mentality, or that like guys don't show emotion and all that. And I'm super happy that it's like coming out more and more nowadays that like guys are allowed to cry and like we do have emotion. And so what I wanted to say with the mental health is that like even if you're not in addiction, but still, if they still find themselves suffering from like depression and maybe they don't know where it's coming from, like it is a real thing and people just feel it and they get like suicidal or whatever it may be. There's so much to it. If I had any suggestions for people that are really stuck in that, and even if they don't have a substance addiction, would be to treat it the same way that we treat it for that stuff, like reach out. And I mean, I haven't really been plagued by that in that aspect. Like, I also understand while saying this that for guys that may be feeling like that, or anyone in general, it doesn't just have to be guys, maybe it's hard to reach out, like I can only imagine when you're really feeling that way, and like not in the way that like some people flaunt it and others may say they're doing it for attention, like the people that really suffer from that shit. If we could encourage in a general way to everyone that's suffering that way to reach out, like reaching out changes everything. You know what I'm saying? Like if people reach out and say like, I'm feeling this way, I don't know what to do. Like reach out to anyone healthy, and you never know where it could take you. But people should not struggle in silence anymore.
Yeah, no more silence. I'm so glad that there's like men like you that are saying this out loud, because especially the dudes. It's actually Pinecase Men's Mental Health and Music. I don't, a lot of people don't know that because we don't actually advertise it like that, because obviously, like, I mean, women are cool too, but yeah, it was one for the dudes, because I mean, culturally, like, it's like sit down and shut up and suck it up and it's gonna be all right. And there's not even a whole lot of that. It's really just like get through the day, right? And not only that, but you guys find like, and this is my own opinion, I don't really care because statistically I've done the research, but essentially you guys carry, you're the backbone of like families financially and physically and a whole bunch of other things. And I'm not gonna say spiritually because women are pretty dialed into that, but
Totally.
And emotionally too. And I do, and I mean, people are going to have their opinions about gender roles and all that stuff, and that's fine. You can go ahead, but I'm just talking like from what I know. And I think there's a lot to be said to like acknowledge the fact that like men need a space. Like it's okay to like cry. And I honestly think that that's why like hunting trips and fishing trips and things like that are like such a big part of like men's culture, because really that's probably the only time that you guys have an opportunity to get shit off your chest where it like doesn't come back. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, there's probably like a safe place to do that, and that's great, but it would be nice to create a society where it's a little bit more of a casual conversation without it being like demasculating or like
totally. And like I have some people that I know in my town that aren't really in the recovery aspect, but they do go to like this men's group. I haven't been there because like I'm all about the recovery fellowship that I'm in, and but they say that it is amazing. A group of guys get together every week and they talk about shit, and I can only imagine it's like a safe place for them to get emotional and stuff too without judgment. So the more of that, the better, for sure. And it just sparked in my head that I really love that about my brother Merc too, is that I see him, he has, of course, an amazing following and all these people that like look up to him and follow every move he makes, and that's a blessing. But what is even more of a blessing is that he uses those platforms to talk about mental health and to encourage people and remind them that like they can get through the tough times and all that. I love that about him. It's amazing.
Though I think that could, Merc specifically, like he's got a wicked catalog for sure, but I think musicians in general, like you guys all, I mean artists in general, like I think that's pretty, like, and because I'm not a musician I can't really speak on behalf of you guys, but I feel like that's kind of like another safe place, much like fishing and hunting, to like kind of dump those emotions without it having like a negative feedback, right? Because at the end of the day you can just kind of like sign off on it being a song, and then or like remove yourself a little bit from it if it has like, if people are like, oh what the hell, you just be like, well, it's just music, man, right? So it's like another really great kind of therapeutic place that you can do that
for sure.
But with that being said, do you ever find that is it like, for you specifically, do you find it like a vulnerable space? Like do you feel like it's hard to maybe put down certain lyrics, or it's hard to put down certain music because it came from like a time in your life that maybe you wanted to like hold dear, or you're like, this is going to be deadly, like this is going to sell, or this is going to be profound, people are going to really enjoy it, or they need it, but in order to like produce it or put it together, I have to like kind of dig into this place that like maybe is a bit triggering, or like is like something that you're not so sure you want. Oh, well, you're pretty open on your platform, but like maybe it's things that you don't want people to know about you. Like do you ever have like that conflicting feeling where it's like content versus exposure?
Sometimes. I mean, like I said, I've made a lot of songs before under different names when I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But since I started taking it seriously, I've only made like really in my mind a handful of songs. So, but I've been writing all these songs lately and like making more and more stuff to put out, and filming new videos and all that. So I feel like the deeper songs are coming. I never really know what's going to happen until I put that beat on and start writing. But I hope that if I get to a point where I'm writing the song and it does call for me to be very vulnerable or like talk about certain situations, I hope that I don't hold back. because like I was saying earlier, you never know who that could help, or like, you know, you got to make the music for you. So it is therapeutic. I've heard my brother say that too, like, you know, it's therapy, and don't care what anyone else is gonna think. Right. I don't know how to explain it, but like, you know, people that write music will understand, like when you're listening to a beat, it's like the lyrics just come, and you know, you can fine tune them, or like pick a certain path or topic you want to write on, but
Yeah.
you know, I feel like when they're flowing, then they have to come out.
Man, it's so cool to witness. Like, my dad's a musician and he writes music, like, you know, in those moments. And because I'm his kid, I always got to watch him. And I'm sure your daughter is gonna like have the same conversation on probably part of her core memories.
Yeah.
But to like watch somebody kind of like go into that space where they like start pulling it out, like I'm always just like, Dad, your antenna's showing, like like you're like tapped into like whatever you need to be tapped into, you know, because it's like the whole like leading up to that, you can like see it happening, and then like the come down, right? Because it's a drug, like, you know, just creating music, listening to music, you know, even from the frequencies and like the, you know, like the actual hurts to like leaving a concert and being like sweaty, like all of that is, you know, it's releasing on like a hormone level. But there's also like this weird thing that comes to like when you guys are like writing and stuff too. I'm sure, well, I guess like poetry probably has the same effect, any sort of art, I would imagine. But what a cool thing to witness, for sure.
Yeah, and like my daughter, yeah, she's like my number one fan. It's crazy to see, you know, and
So cool.
it's like really, it's whatever, you know, kids will say the darndest things, and like
Yeah.
I'm grateful that she's down for the ride. Like, you know, it's really 50-50 whether she's like, oh, this is cool, or she's like, no, Dad, I don't care about your music. But
Yeah.
she's always right there, loving it, and I feel like I have her tapped into the law of attraction aspect of it, because she's like, you know, it's like she understands where we are, and like, you know, and understands, like I've explained the law of attraction and like how it works and all that, and it's so cute. She'll say to me all the time, she's like, Dad, you know, you're famous, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, we're working on getting there, baby. But she's like, she's like, no, all these people in my school, these kids come up to me because like I have my merchandise, and she'll like,
You have deadly merch. Your merch is sick. Like, honestly, to just have your name on it and still like be able to pull it off, like it's
yeah. And our boy Jason Hutton designed that logo for me, so shout out to Jason Hutton. He's killing it with the graphic stuff right now.
That's a tough sell, because I was like checking it out. I'm like, man, just to just solely rely on just your name and to be able to sell it like that. Like, I was like, I seen it go up and I was like, okay. And then like I was actually started like kind of looking for it on the internet. So I was like, it's actually sick. Like it's got brand power, like a skate logo.
Yeah, well, Jason Hutton is the mastermind behind that. My other buddy Sideneck, we kind of go back and forth. He's like, oh, you stole my logo. I'm like, no, I didn't. And he's like, oh, well, they kind of both look like Supreme's logo. You know what? And, I did not have any hand in making the logo. That was all our homie that did it, and he does a great job. So I'm not hating on it.
Yeah, that's wicked.
Anyway, so my daughter will be like, you know, she's like, oh, I wore your t-shirt to school, and like this kid came up to me and was like, oh, do you listen to Scott Monk's music? And she was like, oh, that's my dad. And I'm like, no way. Like, how? I guess it's a small town, right? So like I'm glad that so many people in my town are like finding out about my music and stuff, but it's crazy that she has kids coming up to her. And so with the law of attraction thing, she'll like, you know, she'll be like, oh, Dad, when are we moving into our mansion? And like she'll be like, oh, we have this much money in the bank account. And I'm like, I don't correct her. I'm like, you keep believing that with your whole heart. And it'll happen for you, baby.
That's crazy. I can hear, you can probably hear my kid going on. He's actually on his own podcast right now.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 peas in a podcast. And I thought this would be a great idea, because I was like, oh, you just go and do your thing and I'll go and do mine. But all I can hear is him talking in the background while you're talking about your business.
No, we really can't hear it at all.
Okay, good. Like, yeah, it's awesome. The kid's like going on in the background.
That's great. You know,
Yeah, it's hard to be mad about it though, for the exact same reason, man. Because it's like when they're out there doing their thing, there's just something so beautiful about it, right? Like it's
Yeah.
so organic when it's that age. There's not a whole lot of preparation that goes into it, even when there is, because they don't really like trust what they put down. They really just kind of like wing it, and for whatever reason, because they trust it wholeheartedly, it always comes back around and actually is like complete content. Like every time I see what he does, I'm like, what? How did you get there? Like that's so cool. But yeah, it's so awesome to like watch it happen in real time. Kids are the best, man.
Yeah, great. And we have the blessing of being there to try to lead them and teach them, you know. It's great.
Yeah. Thank goodness, because you know what I mean? Like I don't talk about it a whole lot about why I started this thing, but I started this program while I was in a detox program. And nice. I was talking with my with the night nurse because I like couldn't sleep, and I was like, it's so quiet in here, like I can't handle it. And that was just like the one thing that stood out to me. And I was like, it's deafening, like it's making me feel dizzy. Like, yeah. And he's like, well, what would you do different? Like if you were like the coordinator, like what would you do different? And I was like, I would bring in a music program. And he's like, you'd bring in a music program. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what would that music program look like? And so we sat up all night for like 72 hours and like sorted it out like during night shift. And then I'm like, so how long like do I have to be out of the program in order to run this program? And he's like, oh, like 2 years. And we like went through the whole handbook and stuff. And then we found in the rules and regulations that if you volunteer your time, you don't have to have any time between you and the program. Nice. And so we like found this loophole and convinced the day shift coordinator to like let me run this program with their like laptop, and they let me take my cell phone out of the drawer to like run YouTube on it and stuff. It was hilarious. And we did it. We did like we had 15 people in it each day for 3 days straight. And we ran it like an AA and like a traditional meeting, and everyone just like said what it was, like what song they wanted to listen to and why. So it was like, you know, to kind of have a war story without kind of getting into like the thick of it, without it being like super triggering for the people that were in the group. And it was really successful. And and I left there being like, that was the craziest experience I've ever had. And then the coordinator called like afterwards, like a couple of weeks later, and she was like, are you interested in going to Wetaskiwin and Shelter? And I was like, what? Seriously? And she's like, yeah, I talked with them and like they're really interested in having you. And then it just like didn't stop. Like it just like kept going. Yeah. And like so we brought it online like just as a way to kind of deal with my maternity leave, really, because I was like, I'm not toting a brand new baby around. So we my son was born not long ago, and we were just like, I'll just bring it online and see what happens. So it's really cool. But yeah, it was just like something that happened organically. Like,
that's great. I think that's a beautiful thing, especially where it was birthed. You know, that's I do think that it can help a lot of people. Like music is a lot of people's DOC, you know what I mean? Like that, it helps people get through a lot of shit. Probably more so than anything else, you know, other than being connected with people, that feeling of connection, you know, music, like before the people reach out and they're like sitting alone, feeling all the despair and all that, like they will turn to music still. It's
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is it's like that. It's like the cause, the cure, the symptoms. Like it's just like there were so many things to it, right? Because I'm like, not only can it be like a little bit of exposure therapy too, right? You can kind of go through it before you go through it, but then like find comfort in it. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like for all those exact reasons was why I was like, I think this might actually work. And then we were able to find the piece kind of that was missing, and that was creating a scholarship program for youth. So we were like,
hi, buddy.
Orion, this is Scott Monk.
Hello, Scott Monk.
He was just on stage with Snack, actually. Yeah. Okay, get over here.
I have to go help baby brother.
Thank you. But yeah, and so it was like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with it? What's the reason, right? Because we can talk about it and we can do all these cool things, but like, what are we gonna do to like kind of give back? And so we created a bursary, and we got like a couple of people together, and I actually hit up some of the people on the street that were hustling, because I was like, yo, you guys don't pay taxes, and like y'all got some extra cash, so let's do some things for the kids. And they're like, all right. And so they threw up some money, and I turned around and we did like, yeah, we started giving money out to like for kids to go to like dance. We gave money for kids to buy guitars, for kids to buy some DJing equipment, for kids to get to like some music festivals. Like, and basically the only qualification that they needed was to just say that they needed it. Like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to those people that helped out.
You know. Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to something earlier, and it slipped my mind, as some things do. With I was reading at the bottom how it says music is our DOC.
Yeah.
And I was driving down the road the other day before I came up island. Me and my partner had just had a brunch with her kids, because my daughter went back to her mom. I have her week on, week off now, so that's a blessing. But I just dropped her off, so it was just me, the partner, and her kids. And we're driving down the road, and you know, sometimes, and like, I'm not scared to say it, like sometimes I'll listen to a song, and like probably a song that I've known for years, and like a certain, maybe it's the vibe or like the scene that we're in, but like when those lyrics are said to a song that I've heard a million times, like the eyes can get watery, you know. And I turned to her and I said, honey, and I said it in all seriousness, I'm like, nothing in this world, I hope I didn't hurt her feelings, but I said, nothing in this world makes me feel the way that music can make me feel, you know. And like, now I'm a rapper, and I tell her this, I tell a lot of people this, I feel like the only reason that I rap is because I can't sing. So when I'm listening to music, like, yeah, I'm a rap fan first and foremost, of course. That's what I was, you know, really introduced to at a young age. But you know, like a lot of the times when I'm at home cleaning the house or doing dishes or whatever it may be, like I'm blasting songs where like people are singing, you know. Like, I love all kinds of music. It's not just hip hop. Like, good music is good music. Like, it could be any genre. Like, I don't judge it on the genre. Like, you play the song, and when my ears take it in, like, it's either good or it's not really my taste. But like, yeah, and that's why I think like nothing makes me feel the way music does. And more times than not, like, it's not the hip hop. Like, that shit's great, and I love like rapidy rap stuff, and like it's really cool. But like, the stuff that really hits me in my soul and my heart is like when people sing about, you know, real shit. And I don't know, I just wanted to get that off my chest because it was hitting me.
Yeah, no, it's that's so true. Like, whatever it is that makes you feel that way. Like, I love hip hop. I'll always love hip hop. Like, you know, that's how I grew up. I'm also a huge metalhead. Like, and a lot of people don't know that about me, but like, my dad's in a metal band, and so that's kind of just like what made sense. But I grew up on country music, and Tanya Tucker, like, she's got some ballads, man. So,
and like, I got a lot of friends that are like, oh, anything but country, and I'm like, man, there's some good country songs, like really good country songs.
There is, and they're like the good old, like, I'm like a classic country type of person. I'm not really, I don't know what happened in the 2000s there. It's not really my business, and I don't really listen to it. But ever since Jelly Roll kind of Hank Williams III, when he stepped onto the music scene and was like, we're taking country music back for the rednecks and the hillbillies, like, and then that kind of gave permission to everybody else to like get back to like the, you know, because Snack is kind of that too. Like, Snacks kind of has that like hillbilly, he's like hillbilly hip hop almost, right? Like, because he talks like the way that he talks about music is the same way that like country artists talk about music, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I feel like when Hank III kind of stepped on, he gave permission for everybody to like be cool about it again. Since like Johnny Cash, right? He was like, nah, man, like, there's some of us that are really doing like crazy shit out here. And then Jelly Roll came on and was just like,
yo, that's a whole crazy come up story. Like, shout out to Jelly Roll, he is amazing. And
did he not make it comfortable again in the music scene? I was just like,
like, it's crazy. Like, I remember listening to him like way before the world knew of him. You know, he did a lot of songs with Merc, like on like some of the older albums that Merc put out. And so that's where I first heard of him, you know, and then like looked him up on YouTube, and you can find so many videos of him like rapping when he's younger. Like, he was rapidy rap.
Yep.
And he just like, burst out on the country music scene, like world famous now. Like, like my grandma knows who Jelly Roll is. Like,
I know, right?
world knows. And that's a beautiful thing to see from like just a kid rapping in the bedroom, to blow up that big. It's like that gives kids hope 100%.
Yeah, so cool. It's so freaking cool. And she's not messing around either. She's just like, not only did I not need him, but like she is not taking any prisoners. She's like, this is exactly who I am. And she gave permission to a lot of women. Like, not that anybody needs permission, like, but I just mean it in like a very very cultural way. A lot of people shy away from like being who they really are, being comfortable with their, whatever, their real truth or their face tattoos or whatever. And when you have a couple like that, that's like really in it, and then you're like, oh yeah, like it's okay,
Yeah.
The same way that I feel like, with like you and Merc and Snack and everybody, like, because you guys are like doing it and comfortable with your stories, it really gives a lot of people permission to like be okay with whatever it was that they went through. And it's just so important.
Yeah, like
honestly, Scott, thank you so much. Like, thank you so much.
You.
It means a lot.
Like, yeah, people got to be their authentic selves, like it's I think it's cool to promote being yourself and not to be scared about how you feel, and reach out to people. That's another cool thing from the music and like being open about my story is that like I've had a lot of people message me in my DMs, people that I don't know and that I've never met before, and they like send me these big messages saying like how they're listening to my music and crying, and like how their family member was lost to addiction or struggling with addiction. And it's crazy to think that people would even think my stuff's cool enough to reach out like that and be like, hey, this is touching my heart. So that's a blessing. It's like it's cool to be yourself and to promote not being scared of your feelings. One more thing that was on my mind was like, with Merc or like Jelly Roll's a big advocate for mental health too, and like people that do that, I'm sure I'm not alone when I say like when I was younger, even though I wasn't really healthy, like I always felt, because like I don't know if it's common, but like when I was younger, like real young in grade school and stuff, I was like picked on or bullied or whatever. I was not a cool kid. I did not feel like I fit in. I felt like an outsider all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with leading into the mental health and going down the road of addiction or whatever. But so like in the aspect of like when I got older and I wanted to like bully the bullies, I think that progressed and grew into like wanting to let the people who feel like losers like I did, or like feel like they're not good enough, reach out and hang on to those people. And like that's who I want to inspire. Like I don't want to inspire the dude who thinks it's cool to like knock someone out and like drive all these fancy cars. Like I want to reach out to the kid who's like at home crying, feeling like he's not good enough. Like you can do it, bro. I want to help those people.
Yeah, man. We need more people like you in the world. You're an angel amongst us mere mortals, man. It's a big deal.
You're too kind.
I appreciate you a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm from the same hood as you are. Like I'm out in Edmonton, but I'm from the same neighborhood, and like, yeah, especially that space, the numbers are getting higher and higher. I know what they are, and I don't need to say them on here, or maybe I should, because in September there was 35 overdose deaths, and that was almost matched by suicides, and it hasn't changed at all. It's just getting worse. I actually put out like a public service announcement the other day, like to say that like we're here, because it's like not a joke. And it's absolutely heartbreaking. But yeah, I think that if we can offer people a little bit of solace, and if that means like through music and concerts and things like that, then the world is a better place for having people like you in it. That's for sure.
100. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I'm just trying to do my part, but the world is a better place when we are vocal about it, and like the people that are complaining about it, like they're not helping. Like we need to be the change that we want to see. And you're right, like it's not getting better in any aspect. It's only getting worse. And like, the substances that they have out on the street are getting worse. the people passing away from it, it's horrible, and that's getting worse, and like the suicides, all of that. So how do we go about fixing it? And I guess it would be like one message at a time, or like one inspiration at a time, and just be compassionate, and just not think people are total write-offs just because they're struggling. Like, we can help one another.
Well, to circle back to the freaking rant and rave situation, like, you guys, like, I'm not gonna say shame on anybody, but like tisk, like, to those like who have these platforms, or that are on these platforms that have like 19,000, 30,000, 160,000. I seen a rant and rave the other day with 160,000 people on. I was like, what in the heck? Like, is going on? And they want to talk about people living outside of dumpsters. Like, can we just be aware that
and like the only
they live by a dumpster? Like, you think that person really wants to be there?
And the only thing that I can really think, or that makes it feel like a bit less resentful to those people, is that like, they're probably, how they say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Like, those people that hate on people struggling so much have probably never had a family member in addiction, or like never had to experience it themselves. Like, they probably are just ignorant to it, and that's why they hate on it, because they've been blessed enough and lucky enough to never have to deal with that. So
I heard a really cool thing the other day, actually, and it was that I would never want anyone, shout out to Surreal. He said, I would never want anyone to have to go through the things that I went through in order to experience the things that I experienced, to be the way that I am. And I was like, well, fair enough.
I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but was it something along the lines of, I'm grateful for everything I went through to get to where I am now? Yeah. Like, I do not regret any of it. Like, I would not be who I am right now if any of that stuff didn't happen. Like, everything had to happen a certain way,
you never want others to go through it, to be compassionate like you, right? Like, it's kind of one of those catch things. Like, it would be lovely to have other people to be understanding, but I wouldn't put that stuff on anybody.
No, not at all. And some people are like, I've talked to some people that I've tried to help get through tough times, and it's like, why would this happen to me, or why did I have to go through this? Whether they're talking about like, if there's a higher power, or whatever you want to call it, if that's real, then why would I go through this? Or if they're just saying in a general way, why did I have to go through that stuff? And what I tell them, and what I believe for me, is like, the ones that did go through that, like, we had to get through that and go through that because it was a plan in place, and we went through that shit so we can help the next man and be like, yo, it'll be better. It gets better. It'll be okay. And it's like you were saying, and like Surreal said, I don't wish that on anyone. But if people are stuck in a mental health crisis, let's call it, there's people that have got through it that may still battle with it sometimes, but like, there's people like all of us who can tell them it's okay. I understand. I've been where you are, and I get it. And sometimes people don't even need us to talk to them. Sometimes people just need to reach out and like have someone be there and listen.
So true. That's exactly. Well, there is a number that you can call. So pound or hashtag for you young kids, pound 988 is a suicide hotline. It is North American wide, and it will absolutely get you to the resources that you need. And then we actually have our own crisis line, which is 250-289-3948, and that mobilizes all of our wonderful volunteers, and they get the resources in your town and they send them off. And so so that resource is there for you as well. Thank you so much for sharing that picture. Actually, I seen that. That was really awesome. I appreciate it. That crisis line, I was a bit hesitant to even do at first, obviously, because I didn't want to be responsible for people. And then after getting the education piece in place, and I was like, yeah, no, we're going to do it.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, thank you. It really actually, and I'm going to say this to be very frank with people, because obviously I have like a code of ethics that I have to follow. But I will tell you something that sometimes I think DJ Allgood said, you just got to like pew, 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 like send your love lasers and check in on your friends, because that's 99% of it. And the rest of it is just following up the next day. I can't tell you exactly what is supposed to be done, but I can tell you that those are two massive pieces, like the follow up like listen and follow up. So,
Yeah.
You don't need to have a hotline to be able to do that for your people.
Yeah. Be there for each other.
Be there for each other, man.
Yeah.
Check in on your friends. Check in on your neighbors. Check in on the lady at the grocery store. Check in.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Smile when you walk by people.
Yeah.
It's not weird. It's not weird to smile at people and say hi.
And do the weird shit. Like, whatever. Like, do the things, man. Like, do the things. Like, we're all just human. Like, if you think that, then they probably thinking it too.
Yeah. Help people and be the change that you want to see in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my friend, I'm going to wrap this up because I have to head on off and go be a parent. But it was absolutely
Thank you so much for having me.
It was my pleasure. Seriously, everybody, this is Scott Monk. Go and check him out on all of his platforms. Make sure that the links are all in the comments. If you weren't here live and you're checking this on the whatever you want to call it, the replay, go and check out where he is on tour. Because if you can hit up a date, do you got stuff coming up? Like, I know that you were just chilling for a little bit, but you got stuff coming up.
Yeah, we're planning some things.
Okay. Yeah. But, so like go hit him up on his platform and just follow him for a while, and then wherever he's going to be in, check it out. Because it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're doing awesome stuff. I love it. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It is another.
You're doing awesome stuff too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, I appreciate it. It's yeah. All I think about is like we're just like, we're parents and aunties and uncles, just like that. That's the thing, right? Like we're like, we're sisters and brothers and whatever, granddaughters and like, man, like just everybody, like just, it was like the quickest way. I got family in Jamaica. I'm like, how do I just reach everybody?
That's great. I feel
but yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Thank you so much for Scott Monk for joining us this evening. We will see you next
The more you try to keep me down and keep my head above the water, you can never hold me down. The more you try to block me out, that's where I kick the wall down. You can never hold me back. The more you try to put me out, the more I'll be blazing, it's too hot. The more you try to put me in the dirt, increase my work, the expert. You see the hunger in the eyes of a survivor. Swallowed my pride, washed down with some saliva. Reinvented my whole life, mental MacGyver. One door shut, another open up, wider. Listen.
We stay strong.
The further you take my rights away, I'ma run to it, refuse to hear my voice. Speak loud when I spit it, but you don't get it. You just wanna be a side critic. See somebody else showing hate in the side of the road with it. Now how would you feel standing on the sideline and watch the color of a nation deteriorate over time? The flag real high, but compassion 6 feet below. Now you're searching for that justice that decided to never show. Deny my place and back with a trace. Keep up the pace, tight lace, game face. Get back in the race. Whatever they did could never be undone. Every dark night ends with the rising of the sun. Squandered every wealth that's built from the mud. Squandered every wealth that's built from the blood. Squandered every wealth that's built in chains. Stolen from the ancestors, running through my veins.
With the strength of 1,000 lion and the strength of 1,000 giant, we stay strong. We stay strong. With the strength of 1,000 elephant and the strength of 1,000 tiger, we stay strong. We stay strong. We stay strong.
I can see, run to the light at the end of the tunnel winner.
We stay strong.
I can't breathe, we're gonna get oxygen without the justice system.
We stay strong.
And I know, gotta keep my hands together.
We stay strong.
Don't doubt me, please don't doubt me.
We stay strong.
Tell me how can we be strong if we still shooting? Tell me how can we be strong if we still looting? Tell me how can we be strong if we still hating? Please tell me now, please.